First of all, please pardon my nerves, my first experience doing this kind of thing, but my name is Donald Abraham Gardner, although most people know me as Abe. Thank you for being here, and I would like to thank Ben Johnson for asking me to be part of such a wonderful movement. Now please imagine, if you will, the darkest and gloomiest of winters. A distraught and destitute young man sits in his weathered vehicle, contemplating how he ended up in this position. So many thoughts end up wrapped in so many fears. But he must concentrate on the task at hand. How does he feel this hole in his chest? How does he calm these fears? How does he quiet this dissonance in his head? There's only one answer, and that has become the answer to all his problems. He has only one refuge, and it's been almost 24 hours since he's been able to experience this quick and immediate fix. Although it has only been a day, his body is telling him it has been too long. The uncomfortability had taken over. His shirt is soaked in sweat, yet he is shivering cold. His muscles ache, and of course, the nausea. But nothing compares to the hole in his chest, the hole that has been bored out over the years by shame, guilt, and fear. The voices in his head continually tell him that there is only one way out, and that is through his medicine. The young man shifts in his seat, peering into his back seat, just to double check to make sure all the items he had to trade were still there. He had no job and no money, so had resorted to an attitude of by any means necessary to acquire his fix. At this point, his disease had stripped him of his integrity and made him numb to the morality of the crimes he was committing. Nothing mattered as long as it helped provide an escape from how he felt, a way to feel better. The stolen electronics in the back seat were valuable and would provide for his craving. He shifted in his seat again, trying to be patient, hoping his dealer would be there soon. It was a relief to then see headlights and the appearance of a familiar vehicle in his rearview mirror. Although the day had been long, the transaction had been quick. His body felt normal again. The voices in his head subsided. The fears were gone, and the hole in his chest, it was filled, finally. Although this feeling of euphoria was exquisite, unfortunately, it was temporary. So the young man had to start this whole process over again, every day, day after day after day. At this point in his life, it was the only thing that mattered, how to feel better right now. So his dance with heroin raged on, completely and utterly owning him. He lost all meaningful relationships, family, friends, jobs, his wife, his daughter, his dog, his hope, his dreams, and especially his faith. This short description is a depiction of my life just a short time ago. To those in this community that knew me growing up, I would probably have been one of the last people they would have predicted to have been an addict and alcoholic. I was born and raised in Shelton, and both sides of my family have been involved in the community for years. I grew up playing sports, was involved in clubs, and went to a local church. In this high school, I was a varsity soccer and football player and ran cross country. I was voted homecoming king as well as received my Eagle Scout award, having constructed the memorial across the street at the Huff and Puff. I even went on to play 4 years of college soccer. However, the person I portrayed on the outside did not match the person I felt on the inside. I struggled, and I didn't know what the answer to my problem was until I found drugs and alcohol. Unfortunately, the way I'm wired, substances were my answer. Drugs were a way to fill the emptiness I felt inside. They were a way to fill that hole in my chest. It has been a long and extremely difficult road that has led me to where I am today, not just on myself, but especially on my family and friends. I believe that I will work every day for the rest of my life to make up for the damage I have created over the last 20 years. However, I stand before you today, having amassed 13 months of complete abstinence from all drugs and alcohol. And I can honestly tell you that I have found a different and most definitely a much more substantial answer to my disease, one that has the needed depth and weight to replace any and all substances. I was given the opportunity to be a part of a drug court program last year, and it has saved my life. I am now a participating member of a local 12-step program and have developed relationships within that fellowship that I never could have imagined possible. I have found several outlets for service work, including helping to lead a meeting at a local inpatient treatment center, trying to provide hope and leadership to men that are in the same place I found myself on several different occasions. I have also been blessed by the opportunity to receive counseling, both individual as well as marital. This opportunity has helped bring to fruition the concept of connection. In the early months of my recovery, my wife and I put an emphasis on connection and relationships, understanding how my past of addiction led me to extreme isolation. This process allowed for healing and forgiveness, not only with my wife and daughter, but my extended family as well. In addition, and I believe most importantly, I have reestablished my faith. I have found a spiritual solution. Earlier, I referred to this forum as a movement, and I truly believe that is what we are all a part of today. I can tell you from personal experience that there has never been as much of a positive buzz in regards to recovery as there has been in the last 6 months to a year here in Shelton. We have several treatment centers, we have drug court, we have 12-step programs, and the options are growing exponentially. I am encouraged to be a part of the solution these days, and I believe that is what we are doing here today. We are part of the solution. In a community that has had some extremely dark days, I hope that movements such as this cast a light so blinding that even the darkest corners of Mason County have no choice but to take notice. Let us continue to provide hope and opportunities for those with none. Let us build bridges of faith, not walls of condemnation. Let us always remember, but for the grace of God, there go I. My name is Abe, and I'm a grateful recovering addict alcoholic. God bless.